Well, hello there. It is another beautiful Monday morning still, and I am super excited to be coming in today. There's so many new names and faces inside of our community, and so I wanted to actually take the opportunity this morning to introduce myself to so many of you that might not know me or might not know my stories. I love the power that video has, just for the simple fact that we can get to know each other that much better. It helps me to be able to convey like my mission and my philosophies for coaching and all of those things in order to help you best, right? Because I feel like truly our health and our fitness and our wellness and our business and our spiritual and emotional journeys, like all of these things that make up our life, it's not cookie cutter, right? And so we naturally gravitate to those people who we can relate to, who are just like us, right? And that's really what my mission is to surround myself with a community of women, a community of moms who are like me, that are, after the same things and after the same goals and want to get that 1% better, and strive for more in their life, right? And just like you, if you're watching this right now and you're still glued into what I'm saying, there's that connection there. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Meggin Anderson. And I have been in the health and fitness industry now for more than 9 years. It's going to go into my 10th year, which is super crazy to think about. So prior to that, my husband and I owned our own commercial AV business. So I actually grew up in the AV industry, believe it or not. It was something that my dad started his own business when I was a very little girl, moved up from New Jersey to Massachusetts to start his own company. And so way back in the day, like the 70s and 80s, he was installing drive-through systems and background music to businesses. And, over the years, the technology has morphed and changed. And so, I grew up in his business and his company, and my husband and I started our own business in 2000. So at the time, we were busy in the area of New England, mostly in Boston, installing a lot of TVs and background music and direct TV in bars and restaurants. It was a sports town, Boston Celtics and the Red Sox and all of that stuff. So that was a big time and era for us. So we had that business for about 13 years. I'm a mom of three also. So our firstborn came about 5 years later into the business. Aiden is now 16. Riley is just turned 14 last week, and Ben is 11. Holy cow! So Aiden will have his birthday in the fall, and he'll be 17, which is insane to think about. And so it was a busy life for us. But like I say, rewind a little bit. I have been a Beachbody customer for over 20 years. So something that I knew that I wanted to find consistency with was my fitness at home. I knew that I didn't have time to get to the gym. Like I would always try. Like before we even had our company, I was door-to-door sales. I worked for my dad for a lot of years before we started our own thing. And so it was like this, like really like out on the road kind of a day. So I knew that by the end of the day, I was pretty wiped, and it was tough to make it to the gym just because my schedule was all over the place. I never made the classes on time. So needless to say, I was just looking for something that would save me time from home. So I gravitated to Beachbody right away. There were DVDs. If you remember late night infomercials, like I say way back in the day, because this really was like early, late 90s, early 2000s, like way back in the day. And I just gravitated towards that kind of situation because it just worked for me. And then as we developed our business and our company and I had kids, like it just was part of my life. So I helped use the programs to lose the baby weight in between each kid. I was up over 200 pounds with each one. So it was like this roller coaster. I would, lose the baby weight, get pregnant, have another one, up 200 pounds. Like it was like this crazy, but I always knew what to do. Like as soon as it would almost be the weeks winding down to giving birth, I'd be thinking what program I'm going to do, what I'm going to do for nutrition. Like I would have all that stuff lined up. And so I always went back to it because it always just got results for me. And it was just easy. It was just easy for me to do. Even after I had kids, it was something that I could do before they woke up in the morning, before we had to be out the door, or when they were napping or whatever. So it just worked for me. And I think it wasn't until about 2013. So like, all these things are happening. We have our business and we are having babies and all that stuff. So it's chaos. It literally is chaos. And there was a point where it was just like, go, 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 go. If you are a mom, that time of life is like, bath, dinner, bedtime, like that time of day is like insane. Right. And so for me, it was like this rat race. Like the end of the day would come, I'd get all the kids, and I get them all settled and then like crash, right? And be like, okay, what are we doing here? And I would be questioning this all the time. Like the day is like Groundhog Day and I never see the kids and they're always in daycare and that's really expensive now that there's 3. And like, what are we doing? I was going to go into my 40s and thinking, oh my gosh, like I've got nothing to show. Like I just felt so nothing. Like it was like, what are we doing? Like there's got to be more to this. You can't just go through life with, punching the clock, doing all the things. You never see your kids and you're living paycheck to paycheck. Like this is just not, I just knew there had to be more. I knew there had to be something else. And, I loved being a business owner. I absolutely loved being brought up in an entrepreneurial spirited family. My dad was really successful with his businesses. It was just, such a great role model. And I loved the idea of doing my own thing and owning my own thing and being, in charge of something powerful and making impact with people, offering solutions to help people and that sort of thing. So it's kind of funny when I set it all up like that, when they say hindsight's 2020, it really is like, it was like this culmination of things. And all of a sudden in 2013, my then coach had invited me to join one of their challenge groups that they were having. And I was like, okay, what is a challenge group? And this was before the internet like social media rather was anything. Facebook was there, but it really wasn't as prevalent as it is today. And so I was on these message boards that Beachbody had, and they were, you could ask the experts questions if you needed help and whatever. And that is where I met my coach. And so I was like, what's a challenge group? And she said, well, everybody is going to be doing the program together over in a Facebook group. And I'm like, what do you mean everybody? Like, I'm sitting over here going, I am a weirdo working out in my basement. I am the only one that does this because everyone else I know goes to the gym to work out and take classes, and there's no people that work out at home. So what that was like, light bulb number 1 went off. And I was like, you mean there are other people? She's like, it's a whole group of women. I'm like, there are other women like me doing this that love this stuff as much as I do. And they're, holy crap, yes, I'm in. So I joined in the group, and it was like, I'm still friends with these ladies today, which is crazy to think about. Les Mills Combat was our first program. Paired that with the nutrition. This was also the first time I knew that, or found out that the workouts came with a book, a nutrition guide. And it was basically just balanced eating, balanced nutrition, 3 meals a day, a couple snacks, whatever. And within that program, it was 60 days. I dropped 2 pant sizes with that first program. And I was like, whoa, second light bulb moment came on where you marry the things together, right? And then I think it was only like, partway through, and my coach was like, telling me about the business opportunity. And I was like, wait, what? You mean that I could take the most favorite part of my day, my me time that I love, that I have been doing this forever, that I already have tell everybody about these programs anyways, and I can grow a business out of this? What? Yeah. And that was like, I say like the beginning of the end. Because at first I was like, all right, but I can't like just step away from our company. I'm the president of our company. We are a certified women-owned business in Massachusetts. We have an office building and an office park and a fleet of trucks and a bunch of guys. Like, I'm like, I can't just walk away from this. Like, how is this going to work, And I think it was only about 30 days in. I at first thought it was thinking I would just do it as a hobby. But the more that I understood the ramifications of what was involved, that I could host my own groups and the people that I could help, and the more time that I spent within my communities, the more I wanted to be there full time. So I, ended up having a conversation with my husband, and I was like my heart is pulling me here. Like those questions that I've been asking, like there's got to be something else. This is the path. This is the path, because once it was just crazy. Like, and I always think about the business model and how similar it was too. Like it's just so crazy. Like I was brought up in I mentioned my father was a successful businessman, and so one of the things that his business were based on were service. So he charged, a monthly fee to bars and restaurants and McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts and things, and they would service. It would be like, say, $20 a month, right? And he'd be servicing them. Like, it was unlimited service. They would call up and we would just roll a truck, and that would be how that worked. So that is what is known as generated as passive income, recurring revenue. So he would build these contracts and have this monthly, this monthly revenue coming in for these service contracts, and products and things of that nature. Eventually it turned into background music, and DirecTV, same thing. It was a monthly subscription. So that's what we were doing too. And so when I understood the business model was very similar in regards to, we have Beachbody On Demand, we have Shakeology, we have all these other supplements, and just that reoccurring revenue, the light bulb went on again. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me that I can dive into this similar business model and grow my business, but I don't have to worry about having inventory or a office building or a fleet of trucks, and I don't have to pay insurance. And then the wheels started to turn, and I was like, okay, now I can come home with my kids. I saw this as a way out, right? I saw this as a way to spend more time with my family, to have more freedom. The time freedom was really what I was after in those beginning stages. It has been just such an amazing journey when I think about how, where this has gone. And the other part of this part, as I've gotten into it, in the beginning was about the fitness, and it was about the freedom and all that stuff, and now has turned into my love for developing other women and other leaders and having them find their own business, and create their own way in that same duplicated way, right? Coming home to their children, being able to build their own business from home. I'm seeing themselves as an entrepreneur and a CEO and a businesswoman. And that's my greatest joy, because now my kids are, they don't care about me. They're off doing their own thing. And so it's a really amazing timing for me to be able to now spend the days that I do have developing other leaders and developing other moms so that they can have the time and the freedom with their family. And that's the greatest joy that I have today. I just really I was hoping it would be short, but it really wasn't. If you're still watching, I'm so happy that you are. Thank you. I get so excited when I think about what it is that we do and the impact that we can make. I had the honor to host our Super Weekend quarterly event yesterday, which is something that we do on a quarterly basis throughout the United States. And I got to talking about the impact that we could make, and I started to really think about that ripple effect, right? Because it starts literally, it starts in those challenge groups where you have you start your program, you start to feel amazing, you start to gain energy and strength, and you get excited about what you're doing, and you start telling someone else about that, or you start feeling better, and so therefore you start being better. When you start to be better, then you're better to somebody else, and then they're like, what are you doing? And they start to be better, right? And it's literally like this ripple effect, and so on and so on. So coaching is like that. The fitness is like that. The mindset change, all of that stuff. It's like this ripple effect. And when we can make, and then that's where you're talking about making this bigger impact in a bigger purpose. It's bigger than just me and these workouts. The changes and things that I've seen instilled in some of the clients that I work with have just been an incredible experience. And literally, if there was no income compensation plan attached to this, I would still be doing it anyways, because I love it that much. There is just no greater joy than being able to help and empower women in this capacity. I love to be able to do that. So I'm excited to be able to share more with you about what I do. If you have questions or want to learn more about what it is to be a coach on our team, I would love to have a one-on-one discussion with you. We're also having a live event this weekend. We're going to do a group Zoom workout together, and then we're going to do a little Q&A session. So if you'd like to be a part of that and learn a little bit more, I would love to have you join us. I will leave details below. You can message me anytime for any questions that you have, or just want to learn a little bit more. I'm an open book. I love to share what it is that I do, because I feel like so often And it's because it's not about me like convincing you of anything. It's really just me being able to educate you, because I feel like people don't understand what it means to be a team Beachbody coach. People don't understand what network marketing means. They think it's a bad thing. They think MLMs are a bad thing, when really it's about the education on what it is, right? It's not a scam. It's not some weird thing. It is an incredible and legit business opportunity that could change your life and the life of your families, and so on and so on. And so I love sharing about it, because it's really, it's like I said, this type of business model has started so long ago, and people have been able to grow and change and morph. And today it's more prevalent and common than ever to start a business from home. And what better way to start a fitness business where you can work on yourself, and be the best version of yourself. And that's the foundation of how your business is built. Like, it's amazing. It's incredible. Okay, long enough. I'm so glad to be able to be here for you guys again today. Message me if you have any questions, and I'll see you this week.